my swell time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swell time. Gonna mess up your whole mind. This is my swell time. Gonna bust up your behind. This is my swell time. Gonna mess up your whole mind.
Welcome to Work the Left Side. I am hyped. I'm super hyped to announce tonight's guest. It's the awesomeness that is DJ King. And dude, I am generally hyped to have you on, buddy. How are you doing?
Hey, thank you, man. That's high praise. High praise. I love it.
Fully deserved, mate. Fully deserved.
Shut up. No, it isn't.
Oh, mate, seriously, dude. We were talking about it off camera, and you know what? Just to back up my claim of the awesomeness, we're gonna bring this straight up. We're gonna talk about the GCW, the one-man show, the commentating when they was over here. That was all.
It kind of came about out of nothing. We do up at TNT. We do the weekenders with GCW, so we'll have a TNT show, a GCW show, and then a crossover show. Always a massive weekend, always a brilliant time. Last year 2022, we had Emil, who is the ring announcer and commentator for GCW. He was over with us, and we basically rotated the booth, me, Mark, him, so that everyone was working with someone different. That was a great experience. But then when GCW came over this time round, he wasn't available for the tour. So when they got over, they had no commentators whatsoever. So I assumed that it was going to be me and Mark. I thought, I'll just throw me and Mark on. But Mark was already booked that night, so couldn't do anything. So I ended up talking to Brett from GCW and just mentioned, like, hey, have you got anyone for comms tonight? And he was like, nope. So I said, well, I'm here. So it's up to you if you want to throw me on. Oh, sorry about that, man. Let me just turn my phone onto silent. Sorry about that. Yeah. That was it. It was like, okay, I'll sit in the booth. So I sat in the booth, and I didn't do the whole show on my own. There was a few guys did come up, jump on comms. I did have a couple of partners from time to time, but for the majority of that show, I was one man boothing it, and I won't lie, So what's the language policy on this show?
Go for it, swear away. Was you shitting it?
Fucking petrified. I absolutely, inches away from shitting one's pants. I was so terrified, because this wasn't just like, oh, you're going to do a show on your own, which I'd never done a show on my own before. I've always had someone to bounce off. And I'm play-by-play, so I can, I do possess the ability to just call the action as it goes. But I always feel, if you've got someone there to bounce off, it's got to be better. So I'm there to shit myself anyway, because doing it on your own is daunting. But doing it on my own to a GCW worldwide audience, nah, man, no, fucking no, ass went. But I put my professional cap on. I covered the albaldness, and we went to work, and I loved it. It was fun. It kept me on my toes. It kept me I had to be at my sharpest for that whole show, because there was no way, there was no one for me to lean on. I had to just make sure that I was on my best fucking form. And I don't know if I was the greatest, but I felt like I did a decent enough job that night. It was crazy.
I was like, so again, before we hit record, I likened it, to the Joey Styles of anybody who knows me knows I'm a massive ECW mark, and he's still one of my favorite ever commentators. Stuff he did just by himself was amazing.
I don't understand how he did it for so long just by himself. I get why he was frustrated when he went to WWE. I get why he would have been annoyed, because he was the voice of ECW. As far as anyone's concerned, yeah, they did do two-man booths at one point, but as far as I'm concerned, Joey Styles is the voice of ECW. And yeah, he to be compared to him for that is, again, high praise. I might not follow his political views, but
Well, wrestling, that's all separate sort of issues. We can't judge somebody professionally for, but that's you start going down that road. There's a lot of people I'll just be like, no, don't like them. So, but professionally, they're all right. We can abide them. But yeah, dude, that was my justification for the hype to the episode. That's why I'm happy to have you on. Obviously, we talked about that, but it's not just like say, you've got your fingers in a few different pies kind of thing between Sov Pro, Infamous, TNT, as you mentioned there, kind of thing. Yeah, dude, you're the voice of many.
Yeah, it's wild. It really is, because it all kind of came out of, well, like completely out of nowhere. I've been involved in the wrestling business since like 05, 06. Like, I was a worker for years, and then I started working backstage at Britannia down in Wales. I was working under Steve Saxon, and Steve basically he made me his number two. I was just everything that he did, I learned how to do. So I basically learned how to become a promoter, and then Steve was like, "We need you to be a commentator for a bit." I was like, "Oh, really?" I'll be honest, didn't like the idea of being a commentator. I don't know why. I never warmed to it at first. But he was adamant that I had to be a commentator. So he threw me on the booth, trial by fire, and it just worked. So I worked for Britannia for years. COVID happened. Steve decided to sell up, and I decided to leave because I don't know. I felt at that time that when COVID happened and we'd all stepped away from the business and wrestling wasn't like a focus, I don't know. I got in my own head and just thought, well, maybe this is the appropriate time to bow out, because a lot of the people I came up with either aren't involved in the business or on the other end of the spectrum are so involved in the business now that like you don't see them because they don't live here anymore.
Yeah.
Because they have gone on to do much better things, right? And that's not. And again, I'm so happy, so made up for everyone who's done well. We'll get into names in a bit, obviously, because everyone likes to say there's always one name I love to name drop, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But he's number one in Liverpool. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I was done, and then the school that I trained at in Runcorn, where I live, was shut down for reasons we won't go into. But that was it then for shows. There was no shows in Runcorn. There was nowhere for the audience in Runcorn to see wrestling. And there was a big audience in this town. It's a small town and there's not much going on here. So when when the wrestling shows were on, you would always get a packed house. And it was great. But then that just disappeared after COVID. There was no wrestling left to happen. And then it was literally New Year's Eve. A friend of mine was round at ours. We were having a party. Everyone's drinking. And he asked me about wrestling, and I basically just like emotionally puked on him. I was just like, "No, I'm so done with wrestling. I'm so out of love with it. I don't know. I don't think there's a place for me anymore." And he said, "Well, there is. Why aren't you promoting?" I was like, "Where?" He went, "Here. There's nothing left." So that was it. I thought, you know what? Take a punt. See how it goes. I called in every favour that I could. From venue hire, I went to the place where I got, we had our wedding reception. So the Masonic Hall, where we have all our shows in Runcorn, was also the site of DJ King's wedding, which was a fantastic show on that day again. Big shout out to my wife, who again wouldn't be able to do any of this without her, because when I first started, we put everything together. I started all the social medias and that, and I was like, "Why isn't it getting any traction?" And she just looked at me and she was like, "Because I'm not doing it." And she just took over and smashed it. My wife is a professional, so like at one point was a professional social media representative for a couple of different companies. So she just went, "Okay, I'll do it," and that was it. We were everywhere. We were everywhere we needed to be. And first show, you couldn't get a seat. It was heaving. And that was it. We were off to the races. I was like, right, well, wrestling's back in Runcorn. I get to do what I love. And because what I love more than anything is booking wrestling, telling these stories, having a box of action figures that are real, and then putting them out there for everyone else to see. Perfect for me, that. Like, it's the best job in the world. I wish you paid more, but it's the best job in the world.
That is the best way to describe it. You know, you say that to any wrestling fan, and they will just give you that look of like, oh, yeah, you know, just got this box of toys, you got these figures. Because any wrestling fan, as a kid, when you were growing up, I still do it now. I fantasy book the shit out of like promotions. You know, I'm just as a fan, I'm looking at posters, being like, ooh.
Still to this day, I've held a grudge against my mother for nearly 20 years, right? Because I moved out of my mum's house and she moved all my stuff into the garage, and then the garage leaked and all my stuff got ruined. I had vintage wrestling figures. I had my N64 with No Mercy. Everything got ruined. Everything. So I love her. She's my mum. She brought me into this world. She gave me life. But I'll probably never forgive her for what happened to my my extensive wrestling toys and gaming collection.
Oh, dude. And again, I think there's a few of us can feel the pain. I've kind of got the same beef with my mum when it comes to my Star Wars and Mask and Thundercats figures. I'm just like, no.
Just wrestling stuff in that garage, okay? The vintage, the Mighty Max toys. Oh my God. Don't even start, man. Honestly, she threw it all out. Threw it all away. I was sat in a gold mine there.
Dude. You could have been booking Will Ospreay at Infamous based on just that money alone.
Just off those Mighty Max figures.
Mate, that's devastating. That's absolutely heartbreaking. Oh, dude. But yeah, like I say, you know, at least we'll make it positive again. At least you're in a position now where you kind of like say you get to live the dream. You get to like book promotion. You know, you're running a promotion. You know, you like you sort of said, you've got these things, these people in front of you that you get to create and tell amazing stories with. Because that's the thing as well. I'm not again overhyping it. You know, I think there's numerous promotions in the UK that know what they're doing when it comes to telling stories. You know, there's like, I mean, Odyssey is obviously an obvious one to shout out. You know, it's still really, and Odyssey, you know, they're amazing at telling stories. I think obviously Infamous, I'll put there as well. Wrestle Island are great at storytelling. You know, there's certain promotions, and they're the promotions that get my interest more than, you know, the ones that just. I like exhibition. This is my soapbox. This will be my 2 minutes of a rant kind of thing. I apologise. Everybody's heard it before. Everybody's heard it before.
It's your show. Go for it.
I love stories when it comes to wrestling. I love, you know, that's what gets me invested. I love, you know, there's got to be a stake. There's got to be something that matters to get me emotionally invested kind of thing. I know not every promotion can do it. I know not every match can have a story. That's where exhibition matches come in and stuff like that. But it has to be more story based than exhibition based for me. There's some promotions are more exhibition with one story, whereas other promotions have like 3 or 4 stories and a few exhibition matches. That's perfect.
See, I was brought up on watching, like we all were. We all grew up on WWE, and WWE storytelling first. It always has been, right? So we all, but then obviously we all got older. We all discovered different types of wrestling. You know, there is literally a form of wrestling out there for everyone. If you want to, you know, if you're into wrestling, you will have a niche that is out there for you. Like, if you're big into your comedy, get on YouTube, go find Hustle. Go watch yourself some Hustle from Japan. Oh my God, mate! The stuff we used to sit there and train, and before training would start, we would just watch Hustlemania, and we'd sit there crying, laughing, and we'd be like, "Why can't we do stuff like this?" I was like, "Do you know why? Because you're a training school. Learn how to wrestle first, and then maybe." But we would, you know, there's literally something out there for everyone, and when I was being taught how to promote, when we were running Britannia back in like the early 2010, 2011, round about then, it was very story driven, to the point that we would do a 6-week run in one venue in Prestatyn. Every weekend there would be a show every Saturday, and every Saturday you would have the room would be full. Now the last Saturday, that last show of the month, we had Jay Lethal in the co-main event, and this is I'm using this as an example of like we were heaving that night, but it was no different to the week before or the week before that because they were invested in the stories, and the people would come back for the stories. So to me, you can't do wrestling without storytelling. You need there needs to be stories, there needs to be conflict, and there needs to be a reason why these dudes are going out in their underwear and knocking shit out of each other.
That's it, exactly. Just got to quickly rewind because something tripped you up that still trips me up to this day. We talked about the noughties. We talked about the 20s. What the fuck are the 10s?
The 10s, it just sounds stupid, doesn't it?
What is that decade called?
Teens? Was it the 20 teens? Because it's like 13, 14.
Yeah, but what about 10, 11 and 12?
They're the fucking unwanted stepchildren of numbers. That's what they are.
Fuck them off.
And then everyone else went back into formation. That was it.
I had to bring that up. So as soon as I saw you be like, I was like, yes, somebody else who feels my pain. But that's it. Yeah, you're telling these stories. It's just, it amazes me. Again, I'm just a fanboy. I love that shit. You get me emotionally invested in a story, and obviously as a promoter, it's amazing. You're more likely. You can always tell there's promotions that tell good stories because they can sell out their next show or sell a huge percentage of tickets for the next show before they even announce a match because the fans know what the matches are going to be based on the stories as well anyway.
Yeah, and it's part of building a loyal fan base. It's integral, in my opinion, to a good wrestling promotion that you can tell stories that will bring fans back in the door based on the wrestlers that they've seen and the conflicts that they're in, because you're not going to have a name draw for every single show, especially when Infamous isn't a massive promotion. We're a small promotion. We're making noise, but we're not huge. We're not massive, and I feel like the guys, the names that we have got on the show are the emerging stars. These are I like to think that this is the show where you can see guys that in 5 years' time you have to pay a lot more money to see. Guys like the Quinlans, guys like Act 2, friggin' Isaac North. These are guys that should be bigger names. Rob Drake, KC Payne. I could sit here and I could literally just sit here and name everyone on our friggin' roster because these are the next crop, in my opinion, the next lot of stars in this country. And I think it's great that we are offering the opportunities to see these guys before they are the next big thing. And you can tell, so many of them, you can tell just from being around them that they have what it takes. They're learning, they have the passion, they've got the drive, and they're young. They're so fucking ready for the next generation. It's going to be fantastic.
They're hungry as well, kind of thing. And there's two names there. Again, anybody who's watched previous episodes knows Act 2 with the first tag team guest that I've had on here. Love Act 2. Both guys, absolutely genuine, awesome human beings. Isaac is... So I got to...
Absolute fucking darlings, the pair of them. Act 2, just the sweetest boys. Deserve the whole fucking world because they've got the greatest attitude and I've got the talent to back it up too. I mean, they're doing a serious service for tag team wrestling right now. Them and again the Quinlans, they're doing real service for tag team wrestling because they're showing people again that tag team wrestling is a fucking art form, and they've got it down to a T. So if you've got the chance to see, if you've not seen that match, then fucking hell, do you live under a rock? Because they must have wrestled each other about 50 fucking times this year alone. And I think they're booked to do it another 50 times before the year's out. So if you've not seen it, please make sure you see the Quinlans versus Act 2 at some point, people.
It's money, though. Why would you
different as well? That's the beauty of it. Every match is different. I've never seen them wrestle the same match twice. And for guys who've wrestled each other that much, that's impressive to say.
No, definitely. And I say it's just money. Any promoter who's got any sense will be like, yeah, right. You guaranteed, a good match, an amazing match with those two. Book it if they're free, put it on. Amazing. I saw Act 2 recently at True Grit. They went up against, Crash Boat. That was just like, again, another team, just very, very good, very smooth.
I will say, we've had Jake Silver on for us, but I would love to have Crash Boat as a pair. That would be there'd be an interesting team to put in the mix with our tag team division at the moment. Like, it really would.
Can you imagine a triple threat with Act 2, Quinlan's, and Crash Boat? This is like a triple threat, 3-team match. Oh, again, I'll put the gif of Fry, just be like, yeah, take my money now, take it, because that would be freaking immense. Isaac North, somebody else you mentioned, again, friend of the show. I like to class him as a friend of the show. I've spoken to him a few times. Spoke to him back in the day for Paramount, and I had him back on a few weeks ago. And yeah, I love Isaac. I think he's genuinely one of those guys. He could turn up in any promotion, be a big scary man, and just get the job done.
There is nobody like him in the country. There's a lot of people who would love to say they are like him, but they are pale comparisons to what that fucking monster brings. He is chilling. Like, and it's not just the look. The look is a big part of it, but it's not just the look. It's the way he fucking carries himself in the ring. Nobody matches the intensity when it comes to fucking Isaac North, man. He's an absolute beast. I'm scared. I'm scared of the fact that he's our champ, because I genuinely don't know anyone who could legitimately take that strap off him right now.
I was so happy to see him with that belt. I was just like, again, Infamous have done lots of things that have got my attention, but that was like one of, that's up there. That's like in the top 5 of just seeing him as, and that was my first thought. I was like, who the hell is taking that belt off of him? Seriously.
He's only ever been beaten once at Infamous. Like, and it was the night he won the belt. Shit. It was the night he won the belt. He'd lost to Lance. Lance managed to pin him for free, and he was up within seconds. And then obviously he come out later on and just shit on Lance's night completely and won the belt. But
he did a Bret Hart WrestleMania 10, basically.
He did, yeah. he did, and it was. I'm still like, I think back to it now, and I just think, was it the right decision? Or did I literally just unleash a Wraith on Runcorn? And I mean, if anyone saw our last show, it was the match between him, Connor Klein, and Casey Payne. They had a no-holds-barred falls count anywhere. And that venue, that gorgeous venue, the studio in Widnes, looked like a fucking war zone when those boys were done. Like, there was stuff. It was incredible. It was insane. And Isaac still managed to walk away with that strap. So, yeah. I'm just going to keep more and more guys at him, see what happens. I think that's basically the only way I can do it.
Just have to do just do like a rumble. Have him as entrance number 1. 29 guys. Whoever's left standing. And you know what? I would still put money on him.
He's done a triple. He won it in a rumble. He's done a triple threat. I think the next progression's a 4-way.
Then a 6-pack match.
Then a 6-pack. And then we'll go through him defending it in a rumble. We'll see how we go.
Dude. And again, like I said, I still would put my money on him. I'm like, you know what? The dude's just boss.
Do you know what? So would I.
Sidestep away from Infamous. Oh no, I'm not actually. I'm going to stick with Infamous for a minute because I want to mention we've talked about Act 2. I want to sort of give Jack his flowers in singles as well, kind of thing, because that match he had with Ian Skinner, which I've shared on socials a few times from your YouTube, mate. That is just, I've watched it numerous times, and I just love that match.
Yeah, probably the best singles match we've had so far at Infamous. I mean, I'm sorry. I absolutely hate to give Ian Skinner his flowers because he terrorizes me constantly. Like, every time I see him, every time he shows up at Sov, he launches a drink at me. Doesn't bring it. He brings a can to Tom, just gently hands Tom a drink, and then walks away from the desk and launches whatever he's brought at me. And I don't get it. I don't understand. He's a scumbag. He really is an absolute terrible human being. But I can't deny how good he is in the ring. He's nearly second to none. He is easily in the top 10 in the country. Yeah. Ian Skinner is a fucking star. And we'd have been daft not to have him at Infamous. We really would. And as soon as I announced that Ian Skinner was coming, I had Jack Knudson on literally every social media platform I had. Yep. Deej, you know I love you, Deej. Deej, you know I love you. And immediately, the second I heard, you know I love you, I knew exactly what was coming. And to be honest, it fit. I was like, why not? Why the hell not? That would be... the second it was pitched to me, I thought, that's the greatest wrestling match we could have put on. Let's do that. And the boys did not disappoint. I've watched it back maybe about 5 or 6 times myself, and it's just silky. Silky is the best word I can use to describe it. Those two lads, they went out and they put on a clinic. It was fantastic. It felt a bit bigger with it being for the Commonwealth title, the Sov Pro Commonwealth title, and so that was a nice little wrinkle to it. But again, I would tell any promoter in the country, get that match on. I mean, we did it first. But you could have number 2. TNT, you could have number 2. Then Progress, you could maybe have number 3. Rev Pro, do number 4. You know, be nice to think that we had an influence on the big guys.
They literally go, you guys, Sov Pro, TNT, then send them down south and they can fight over them down there. But yeah.
To me, it's baffling that the whole country's not fighting over these lads as it is, because the talent's there. It's on display. Everyone can see it. So I don't understand why these guys aren't already knocking down all these doors.
I think, we'll talk about this then, because obviously, you know, you're in that position of, you know, like booking talent, looking around, you know, scouting talent, seeing who's out there. You've been around, you know, long enough that you've been, you know, you've seen people come and go, like you said earlier. I've said this numerous times. I've had people argue with me or talk to me about it or discuss it with me, whether I'm right or wrong. I think at the minute, the talent pool in this country is the best it's ever been.
No, I 100% agree. 100% agree. Not only in ability, but in attitude. Everyone knows that they're out there at the moment to make. We're trying to make the business better. You know, we came off a really shitty time after COVID. You know, the business took a massive hit, and we got rid of as many problematic fucking presences as we could. And that was a good thing. There's no regrets whatsoever on what happened. The speaking out movement was a good thing. It had to happen because it cleared the way for this whole new breed of talent, and for the talent who were left. It was the ones who had always had that mindset, but had been held back by the guys who were more problematic. And you had people who, this business has always been a very selfish business. Wrestlers are out to make a name for themselves, and you've got to be. It's the way it is. There is a level of selfishness to this business, but people now seem to have all got into the same mind frame as if we all look good, we all rise together, and that's the more and more. That is, to me, that's the more important thing. It's like I lived through promotions talking shit about each other for years. And now we're in a position where you've got promotions bigging each other up. You've got I mean, a nice way to slide into this, but you've got the Nation of Collaboration show coming up in Liverpool. You're going to have like some of the biggest and best promotions, and some promotions you may have never even heard of, but they're all going to be under one roof, showcasing talent that wouldn't really get that level of exposure. We couldn't do that if we didn't have real working relationships now. If we didn't actually have guys who are like, not even just wrestlers, promoters who are in the same mind frame of guys who want this business to thrive. Like, I might be biased because I work for them both, but Jay Apter and Shotty Horror and the whole team down at Sov, these are guys who want the business to thrive on a whole. They're not just doing this because they want to make their money. They want everyone to be making the money. They want everyone to be fucking rising up to that next level. It's a good time to be in the business. It is, and I've been in it for nearly 20 years now.
Yep.
And that's scary. But also, this is this is the best time to be involved in the business. And take that from someone who was involved when it was shit.
That's it. And I fully agree. I love that. Obviously, I do what I do on the socials. I notice people working together, collaborating, a lot more so now. But I mean, a massive shout out. You've mentioned Jay, obviously, TNT. I shouted out Wrestle Island earlier. I think Peter has always had a really good working relationship with TNT. They were the first two promotions that I kind of saw being like, okay, it's nice to see them working together kind of thing. That kind of respect. But I'm seeing a lot more between other promotions now as well.
I was going to say, I mean, it's funny that it's showing up in public a lot now, because when Infamous first started, I had a lot of behind the scenes help from Jay. Like, the ring came from Jay and Pete. The ring that we used for our first Infamous show was the ring that they used to train in the Wrestle Island dojo.
Oh, the temple.
Yeah, the temple. Yeah, sorry, the dojo. I'm getting me training school lingo mixed up now. Different training schools called different things. Why can't you all just be called schools? Just be a fucking school. But anyway, digress. So yeah, we ended up like borrowing that ring. Jay sorted us out with that. A lot of people were really helpful when we first started out. So I just feel like we've just got to keep paying that forward. Just got to keep fucking, I'm not saying, hey, everyone go start a fucking promotion and I'll start helping you out. No, we don't need any more promotions.
Just the ones now.
Just us and OTP. We're the last ones through the door. Just close the door after us.
OTP as well. That's another good shout. And I wanted to bring them up at some point. So obviously you just mentioned them again. Like I said, a fresh promotion, trying some very cool stuff. But the fact that you've just mentioned them again shows that collaboration.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, I mean, I'll let you in on a little secret. He's probably going to murder me for even bringing this up now. But the Nation of Collaboration show was not. It was not Jay Apter's idea. Seriously, we the Nation of Collaboration show was a brainchild from a conversation that started with me and Ben. Just the idea of saying, like, remember Extreme Fields? Remember how much easier the last one was because the music wasn't on because the bands didn't show up. Why don't we just do that again? So yeah, I mean, we took it to Jay and we said, like, come on, we can do this and we can get more promotions involved. And this is what I would love to do what we're doing now, like what we're doing in Liverpool at the end of the month. I would love to do that in London.
Ooh. That
is my very big, lofty, possibly unachievable goal. Is that when we have like AEW weekend, or fingers crossed, don't want to jinx it, Mania.
Mania.
everyone and their mother is going to be in London for Mania weekend, if we have a Mania weekend, right? So, I mean, a Nation of Collaboration show in London, featuring the top Northwest promotions, getting to shine in front of an audience you've never seen before.
Makes all the sense in the
It's something that I would be more than happy to start the ball rolling on. Just, let's find out where Mania is first.
I see. I mean, obviously, I've talked about this earlier. When it was on about things. I kind of like focus a lot more on the north of the country, kind of thing, and then there's shows out there that focus more on the south. I was excited to see North having a show down in London this weekend because it's all in weekend kind of thing. So it's like, okay, cool. People are venturing down to London for these kind of weekends. So, like you said, whether AEW come back again next year, whether we get that Mania, mate, I don't even think it'd be a weekend. It'd be like a week-long event.
We'd have to. It's going to be an expensive one if we're going to do Mania in London, because I'm not talking of this as a promoter or anyone involved. I'm talking as a wrestling fan right now. I'm not going to want to miss. I'm not going to want to miss a minute what goes on that week in London. It's going to be, because it will happen now. They wouldn't have teased it if it wasn't going to happen. It's going to happen at some point, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, but we will get an international WrestleMania in London. And it's going to be a very expensive week for all of us wrestling fans. And also, wrestling fans out there, I love you all, but please, if we're all going to be together, deodorant, guys. Deodorant. Fuck. You're giving all of us a bad name. Just a little spritz.
It goes a long way. I mean, to tell you what, we'll just stand outside of like shows with just a big box of links and just like, help yourself.
It's like when wrestling shows will provide like ear defenders for children who may what we should start provide is literally just a fucking deodorant station. You come in, someone sniffs it. No, mate, hang on, over there, come on.
That's amazing. We mentioned something.
Come back over so we can spray you again.
Put hands up on the wall, arms up, like spray, wash. There we go. Everybody smelling like links. It'd be like a massive Chava party from freaking back in the day or something. A night at the Ritz. Nightmare. The mentioned earlier, Sov Pro. That is, again, that's another promotion that I've had them on the show. I've talked about. I try and hype them up as much as possible. Love what Sov Pro are doing, and obviously you're involved in that as well. How are you finding it there,
mate? I love Sov Pro, like to the point that I've been given shit in the past. I've even had infamous shows called Sov Pro NXT. Because we love Sov, because we have a great working relationship with the guys at Sov. The whole team, it's not, because again, a lot of people are like, oh, Sov Pro Shotty Horror. Like, Shotty does so much for that company, but it's not just Shotty. There's like seven heads on that Leviathan, and it's fantastic. It really is. It's a great team who are very, like, a lot of them not very experienced in the wrestling business. These are guys who've come into it because they love it as fans, and decided that they want to have a go. And I've seen a lot of people go, oh, I could be a promoter, and then fall apart before the first show even happens. But these guys absolutely knocked it out the park first time round, and have been doing so every show since. And it is fantastic. It's been fantastic to have been a part of it since the first show. We're coming up to Third Reign, which will be the 3-year anniversary show, and it's just wild. It was mad to me because, again, when I walked into Sov, it was a roster that had very rarely been seen up north. There's a lot of guys like either from Scotland or from down south who'd been brought up for the first Sov show. So I felt like a complete. I knew no one until Joey Hayes walked through the door, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, it's that man!"
Lovely.
But I mean, again, like it started out like, oh my god, we don't know anyone, and now we're 2 and a bit years in, and that's like roster's like family. They're amazing. That everyone is so close. Again, everyone just wants that show to just succeed, and the atmosphere is fantastic. The Sov Pro show days, the atmosphere is always electric, and like, everyone is buzzing before the show starts. Like, and when I say everyone, I mean everyone. Guys who do this week in, week out are still electric and buzzing, ready for when the Sov show starts. And that's a really good feeling. And it's good to be able to sit there and call that and feed off that energy, and especially with the crowd. The Sov crowd is always loud as fuck. And they're there for everything. And when I say everything, I mean every fucking weird thing that happens at Sov Pro.
It's a wonderful place.
I mean, where else are you going to get your Coronation Street fucking fix?
I just made me laugh because so many people, like, you know, I've got, you know, smart fans, mates kind of thing. I remember when Sov announced Les Battersby, you know, noses got turned up and about what the hell are they doing? What are they thinking? I'm sat here thinking that's genius. The amount of media, you know, the amount of media and publicity that will get, and it's worked. Fans talking, which is key.
The conversation that was had before any of the Les Battersby stuff was announced is gold. I'm not going to reveal a fucking word of it right now, but I will tell you right now, the Sov Pro staff chat at that time, when we all found out that Les Battersby was being announced, fucking hell. We were like, it came out of left field to us. You know what I mean? It really did. Because I think Shotty saw an advert and it just said, like, hire Les Battersby for your events. And he was like, I've got an event. And we, you know, I think we mentioned too. I don't think that's the kind of events that it meant, but he was like, no, too tough shit, too late, he's booked. He's coming.
Right,
that's it.
Gosh, job's a good one. Dude.
And then literally you've got like Ashley Peacock now. Fuck that happened. Kane Dingle. With an E. It's fucking wrestling, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like I said before, something for everyone.
Dude, I'm gone. I've lost. I'm not. But you could actually have like a soap opera battle off. You could have like more people from Emmerdale, more people from Corrie turning up.
Listen,
like,
I look. If Sinbad wants to get on to me, right? I think the Brookside Club is a real thing we could do. Get me Sinbad, get me Tinhead, and we'll fucking do it.
Oh, get Anna Friel back as well. Just to...
There you go. Fucking there you go. Perfect.
Dude.
That's it. The Brookside Club, mate.
Said, oh wow. And just bury everybody else under a patio. Jobs are good.
Yeah, see? That's how we do things in Liverpool. Well, fuck with us, mate. We'll bury you under the patio.
That could be the infamous invasion. You know, they've got their freaking Manchester boys. Yeah, you come over with the Brookie boys.
Or with the Brookside Club.
Turn up with some shovels and some tarmac. Jobs are good.
Yeah, but they've already seen. The thing is, though, I can't do that now. Because I've aligned myself with the LBWO Wolfpack.
Dude.
And so have all the Liverpool wrestlers.
It's a double turn. False hope.
Yeah, we're not really the LBWO. We're actually the Brookside Club in disguise. You ain't seen me, right?
Of all the conversations I thought we were going to have during this episode, this was not one of them.
Well, of course it wasn't. Ask anyone who's interviewed me for a fucking podcast, man. I go off on the best tangents. I don't give a shit.
The thing is, I don't even know how I can top. Okay, I'm not going to top this, so I'm going to rewind earlier. You said about name dropping. You just that one name you always like to sort of drop. So this will be the moment where it gives me a chance to to gather my senses, calm down, name dropping time. Who are we talking about?
Oh well, yeah. I don't know. You can't just say it like that. You can't just be like, "Oh, name dropping." No.
Name drop. You said it earlier. You said, "Oh, that one name."
Name dropping one certain person, and you can't just ask me to name drop him. That doesn't work that way.
Okay. Right. So, during previous shows, who would be the most talked about person you think you've ever talked about and appreciate?
And here's what we'll say. Did you see Ben and Hart?
I didn't, unfortunately, but my mate was there, and I thought he kept me updated with like live video calls and stuff.
The Liverpool one, obviously, because we had a vested interest because there was the 6-man match where all the Northwest champions were all in the match.
I was there, yeah. So Isaac. A load of kids ran away when Isaac came out. Apparently, my mate was saying he had loads of kids around him because he stood right at the entrance way. And all these kids were like, oh, and then Isaac came out and all the kids went, ah, and then fucked off.
Well, it was great because obviously you had Luke Jacobs, the Infinite Champion. You had MVK, the TNT Ignition Champion. You had RPD, the Wrestle Island Champion. You had Isaac North, the Infamous Champion. Woohoo. And then you had Scott Oberman, the Atomic Champion as well. And then Ravy Davey, he had a hat on and he was boss, but he didn't have a belt. So, but the reason I bring this up is because while that match was going on, the promoters from those promotions, we all got together at the back of the room. And it was the funniest, 15 minutes because we just sat there giving each other shit. 15 minutes. There was us, the guys from Atomic, and the guys from Infinite just giving each other loads of shit. Just banter back and forth from all of us. But it was great. And that match, I want to thank Ben and Hart and specifically Zach Gibson for giving us that chance. Thinking of us as a promotion big enough to be featured on that show. I really did appreciate that. And, nice one to Zach and the lads for hooking us up with that, really. It was brilliant. And the show itself, fantastic. So, top notch. Next time Off the Page you're over, make sure you see a show. Not Off the Page. Ben and Hart, oh man, mix me promotions up. You should go to an Off the Page show too. Come on.
Yeah. But I mean, obviously they're, as soon as I think obviously they went from Liverpool. They did 3 shows over the weekend, didn't they? Kind of thing.
They did because
they ran to Hampton as well.
I think they ran in Wales on the Saturday, the same day that the Infamous show. Sorry, I've gone from sitting up to basically just lying down on my couch right now. Right. Yeah. Let's get the logo in so Jay doesn't kick off.
Hey, there it is.
Available at all TNT shows.
That's my Wayne's World thumbs up moment. But yeah, it's just like say that in itself, that kind of ties back to what we were on about earlier, with the collaboration and stuff like that. The fact that just everybody gets a chance to shine, and because there's no, it's it doesn't matter who wins. It's just everybody's bigging each other up, kind of thing. It's a fun match, and it's a match to get eyes on all the titles.
Exactly, it was a great way for literally 5 different promotions to all be advertised in one go, and that match probably did more for us than it would have done if we'd have had posters and flyers all throughout that building, because all eyes were on the ring, all eyes were on the guy carrying our strap and holding it in the air. And that's what was important at that very moment in time. Those people had come to see a Ben and Hart show and they got exactly what they paid for, but they got the added bonus of being able to go, oh, there's 5 promotions there that are all local to where we are right now. And I've never been to a wrestling show other than this one, so I'm going to now check out all those 5. I mean, we are working in the best possible time in British wrestling. Everyone is working towards the goal of the business being better.
elevating each other kind of thing. And the fact it doesn't hurt, like if a casual fan went to Burning Heart, like you sort of said, notice these promotions, these titles. Again, we've talked about them earlier. It doesn't hurt that your belt is being carried by a big scary bastard who, most people be like, that is wrestling. That's what I expect to see from a wrestler. I'm now going to go see that promotion.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I liked what he did in there. Wonder what he does though when he's actually, wonder what he does in a singles match, or I wonder what he does in a tag. It's all about giving them a taste, and then, come on, buy tickets.
So what have you got lined up? Again, not to apologise, but I normally try and sort of look on the socials and sort of see upcoming shows and everything like that before we talk.
I understand you've been sorting out your Solid Snake cosplay all day, right? And it's fantastic, by the way.
Got to get it on.
Fantastic. But yeah, we're back in October, October 26th, back in Runcorn, the Masonic Hall. The show is called Infamous Presents I Would Dive for You.
I've just got Brian going through my head now.
I just love. I love Prince, and I've always said that if I could get away with naming a show after a Prince song, I would, and I did it, and no regrets.
Just
like our show names. Like, to me, a wrestling show name, it's not a very important thing, right?
It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. If you've got a good one, people remember it. A funny name.
I agree. See, I agree with that. If you've got a good show name that, like, you're like, I can use that again. Yeah, the fans will attach to. I'm good with that. But I'll let you in on a little secret that's no longer going to be a secret. Obviously, I basically name our shows to entertain myself. Unless I feel like, oh no, like when we had the Infamous 8 tournaments, the show obviously had to be called Infamous 8. It makes sense. Look, that one there, boom, 8 guys, tournament, belt. But then this one next to it is Infamous Presents You'll Never See It Coming, because I love Persona. And then you've got Infamous That Escalated Quickly, because I love Anchorman.
Yes.
It's Infamous Come At Me, Bro. It's because 2 brothers were fighting. It's not the cleverest thing in the world, but it entertains me.
I just want Infamous Lamp. I love Lamp. There you go, boss.
Do you know what? There's some show names that I've put them out, and the rest of the team has just shot me down immediately. I'm like, you can't call the show that. Yeah, there's just like, it's not happening. Like, and I'm like, oh, come on! I'm the boss! And they're like, yeah, you are, but no.
Mutiny. Like, nope. I saw one recently, and a massive shout out. It was the old WWF In Your House logo font, but it was In Your Scouse. That popped me. I saw that show poster.
It's for years. I tell you what, right? Infinite Mr. Tricky, and I'll give these are 2 show names, right? That another wrestler said to me years ago for Liverpool shows, right? And they've always stuck with me. And if Infinite don't use these, or TNT don't use these, right? I swear to God, I'm going to run Liverpool myself, and I'm going to use them. The first one, Silla Backlash. Wait, because the second one's better. Ringo Starrcade.
Oh, that works on so many levels as well. It's a wrestling ring.
So all I'll say is, if any Liverpool promotions see this and decide to use either of those names, go for it. But I want to be doing comms on that show.
But again,
coming to fucking Liverpool next year to run Ringo Starrcade.
Do you imagine the poster? You can have everything on there. Would you have like little Thomas the Tank Engine reference on there as well, and just be like,
wrestlers with Beatles haircuts, drum kits all over it, and then just 2 massive Thomas the Tank Engines in the back. If Elliot's watching this, Elliot, get this poster done.
It's got to be Elliot. Everything's Elliot on the posters.
Mate, look, that's someone else I definitely wanted to make sure got his fucking flowers handed to him on this show, because like he does not get the credit that he deserves. I mean, a lot of people will talk about Elliot and say, "Oh yeah, if you get your work done, go to Elliot," but he's still not getting the fucking love. He's one of the best graphic designers out there. All of them, all these posters here, all Elliot, and it's so intuitive. Like, you tell him, you give him a basic idea, and it's like he just reaches into your head and goes, "Is this it? Is this what you wanted?" And you go, yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. I've never had to, I can say, he's never sent me a poster and I've gone, "This shit, that actually, mate, I don't like that." You know, every single time he sent me a poster and I've been like, "Fuck, he's done it again. Son of a bitch." I love him.
I did. I'm in that group with you. The dude deserves all the flowers, all the love. I invited him on the show months ago, and just to give him that, just be like, "Dude, do you want to come on and talk about what you do? I love your posters. You know, I think everybody should be talking about these posters." And bless him, he was like, "I don't really have anything, I'm just a graphic designer. What would we talk about?" I'm like, "We could just talk wrestling for an hour, mate. I just want to just have you as an."
I'll get him on. I'll get him. I'll come on with him. I'll get him. I'll be like, "Come here, dickhead, headlock. Talk about how good you are."
Yes, right. Okay, that can be in a few months, Bosh. We'll start January off with DJ King and Elliot team up.
DJ King and Elliot in a headlock. That's it. That's the plan.
Because he does the posters for True Grit as well, which are absolutely amazing.
He does the posters for fucking nearly everyone. And if he's not doing your posters, then all right. So was you. Don't trust you if Elliot's not doing your posters.
We've got to let some other people have some work as well, kind of thing. So,
sorry, my phone's decided it. Oh,
you over?
Sorry, this is the problem with recording on a phone. There we go, we're back.
We're back, we're good.
I need a computer, really. I shouldn't be trying to run my whole life through a mobile phone.
It works for me, dude. I'm on the phone right now. I've got my little £5 stand from B&M or something. Bosh, there we go. I said it earlier. I've said this numerous times. What we lack in production value, I make up for with heart and passion. We are the ECW.
Oh yes. Accentuate the positives, hide the negatives.
There we go. As Paulie would. Right, I'm going to bring up. Just noticed the time, dude. I've kept you for sort of about an hour or so. I just want to mention this because obviously before we start talking, I was speaking to Sash a few weeks ago and your name came up. So I just wanted to make you aware of, apparently you talk shit about Sash all the time on socials, but then you always duck him whenever he's there in person. That was his words, not mine. That's how he worded it. It was like, "Oh, that DJ King talk shit about me all the time. As soon as I get in the building, dude's nowhere to be seen."
Right, okay, right. One, I talk shit about Sash when Sash talks shit about me, right? Sash doesn't like me because I'm friends with Alton Fawn. And because Alton Fawn has handed him his ass on numerous occasions. And because I'm a fan of that, and because I'm also not a fan of taking shit to a personal level, which is what Sash did with Alton, I voiced my opinion on this, and he's had a bee in his bonnet ever since. Now, the ducking him in person, right, okay. Let's see which side of this people want to believe. Because the only time I've ever been in the same building as Sash is when I was working at TNT and Sash bought a ticket and was on the other side of the barrier. Now, how do I duck someone when they're just in the crowd? It doesn't work. But by all means, Sash, your narrative definitely plays out better for you, babe. So you keep telling everyone that I'm ducking, yeah, that's fine. Because when I do see you in person, I will slap the shit out of you if you talk to me like that.
Of course,
I would actually consider coming out of retirement to kick this guy's ass. That's how much he infuriates me. Like, I would come out of retirement to give Sash the Gash a slap.
oh, I need to remain biased. Obviously, I'm getting all excited, being like, yeah, I don't know. I need to be professional. I don't need Sash accusing me of, taking sides again or stirring shit up.
Let's be honest. If I was to go like, I want to fight Sash, I'd have to get into the back of a pretty long queue of guys who want to knock his teeth in. So
many.
I'll leave them to it. There's younger guys out there than me who can get the job done quicker. So by all means, guys, just give them one for me.
Just stand back, watch and enjoy, and just watch the highlight reels.
I'll do the commentary. It's fine.
There we go. You get to call it afterwards. You get to take that moment of glee in the presentation. Dude,
what I will say is that sorry, just before we change the subject, Sash knows where I am at all times. It's very obvious. If I'm not at TNT, I'm not at Sov, I'm at Infamous or I'm at OTP. He goes 4 shows there that are on all year round. If he wants to come find me, he knows where I am. He follows me on social media. Hates me, but follows me on all my socials. Yeah, strange that one.
One of those people. Like I say, you can't really duck anyone when you've got a headset on and you're being to do a job.
And I'm sat in a booth that is above the whole venue, above the bar, that nobody can get to. How am I ducking him when I'm literally up in my booth working? He knew where I was. He could have got to me.
Could have done it if he wanted to. If he wanted. That's the thing, you see. As you sort of said, doesn't suit the narrative. Doesn't quite flow as smooth. So, dude. So obviously, we've got Infamous back in October, as you sort of said, with the I Would Dive For You show. Obviously, keep your eyes peeled. Anybody, who follows me on Twitter, if you're not following Infamous on Twitter or X, sorry, hit them up. I share this stuff all the time. I'll try to. What's that, dude?
It's still Twitter to the cool kids.
Exactly, it's still Twitter. It's not always going to be Twitter. I'll accept a marathon being a Snickers, but X is still Twitter.
Exactly.
Fucking hell, that showed my age, didn't it? Right. Showed yours as well. You're like, yeah. But yeah, obviously I'll try and big up Infamous as much as possible. As soon as you start announcing matches, I'm going to be all over that. And
we've got 2 matches announced so far. We've got Lily Winter versus Lucy Sky.
Yes, I saw that earlier. I retweeted that earlier. Sorry. Yes.
In a trick or street fight. So there'll be some Halloweeny going on in that one. But those 2 have literally been at each other's throats since our second show. Lucy Sky got the win over Lily, but also sent her to the hospital that night. And Lily Winters had some serious heat with her since. So those 2 just want to knock shit out of each other. Well, why not? Let's do it in a street fight. But since it's Halloween, it's a trick or street fight. So that one will be interesting. And we've got NAJ, rookie season, all over.
Yes. It's the ghost of something.
A ghost from Infamous past, and that's all I'm saying.
He's awesome as well, by the way. Kudos on having him on your show.
NAJ, he's one of the most charismatic dudes I've ever met. He's got swagger out the ass, and he's honing his craft. He's working up at the Future Shock PC, but he's also traveling, working everywhere he goes. I know he's been down in London doing a play because he's also a very talented actor. I know while he was down in London, he went and trained at Rev Pro School. So he's doing everything he possibly can to get better. So NAJ's definitely one to look out for. He really is. Everyone should keep an eye on NAJ too.
Fully agree. I think I've seen him pop up on a few Pursuit reels as well. Pursuit. So
he's going to be making his TNT debut over the FE's weekend. He's going to be on Ignition. Nice. That was announced this week. So,
nice. And I always know Jeebus likes it when he gets a kiss. Oh, well, I say he likes it. And AJ always gives the Jeebus's phone a quick kiss. You can see Jeebus afterwards like that, trying to freaking get it clean.
Oh, we had Jeebus on our last show. Every time Jeebus comes to one of our shows, I wear that like a badge of honor because you know you're about to get some good little video clips.
Yep. I always say, man, some promotions out there, if you don't have much of a social media presence or anything like that, give Jeebus a free ticket. You'll have some banging highlight reels and you'll get eyes on your product.
Ticket, but, still, I definitely agree.
Pros and cons, man. Pros and cons. Eyes on the product, free ticket, free. It'll go anyway, even if he has to pay. He's that much of a fan, so you know what I mean. The dude's good. The dude is a good. But yeah, mate. I've kind of kept going after I said I would let you go. So, where can people obviously hit you up on the socials? Where can they get Infamous on the socials and Sov Pro and everywhere that you're involved in?
Well, you can get my personal Twitter and the Infamous Twitter, both on there. You got Infamous_WP, and you got DJ King 1268. And then just follow us on there on all the socials. I'm on Instagram. Well, we're all on Instagram. The whole team. The Infamous page. We've got the DJ King page. We've got the Sov page. It's all there. It's all just on socials, social media. Come on. Most of you lot are younger than me, and you all know how it works better than I do. Look, just go on there, type the words into the page, and fucking follow it. God.
You know what?
Buy tickets as well. Buy tickets to all the shows that I'm on.
I'm just going to clip that and have that on future episodes. At the end of every episode, be like, you know what? I don't even need to tell you. Just do what DJ King says. Bosh, there you go.
Just sort it out. Come on, guys. I can't fucking spoon feed you all this information.
Obviously, when this uploads and we post it, we'll tag Infamous and DJ King and everybody else in it as well. If you're not following them, please follow them. You don't need to search for it. I'll make it easy for you. Just click on the links that we give you. Subscribe, follow. Keep your eyes out for future shows. Buy ticket, buy some merch. Just show some love.
We do have a streaming service too. We are part of the Real Wrestling Network. So if you go on to realwrestling.com, you'll be able to find all our past shows on the streaming service there too.
There you go.
Probably should have mentioned that.
Yeah, I did think about it, and again, I think the talk of Les Battersby and fucking Ashley Peacock.
I told you before we started recording, this was not going to stay on topic, and it hasn't. It's gone wild. I mean, I'm sure there's something else we should have talked about here. Something I should have mentioned, but. Well, now you've got an excuse to have me on again, haven't you?
You know what? Yeah, we'll have you back on in a few weeks, just in case. If I get a message, be like, dude. I'm like, right, come on, yeah, right. We'll make it a monthly thing and we'll just big shit up. But, dude, honestly, thank you so much. It's been an absolute blast. I've absolutely just loved it. See, this was why I was excited at the start. This is why I hyped it so much. This is why I was like, yes, I'm finally getting to talk to DJ King, because I knew it would be this kind of an episode. And I knew I would just be fucking. My soul has been recharged. I'm happy.
Oh, man, thank you. I need to recharge mine, and I think the only way to do that is about a solid 12 hours kip now. So I'm probably going to go to bed as soon as this is done.
Right, I will. I'll let you go. Obviously,
Thank you again for having us on, man. It's been amazing. I love doing these. I love doing podcasts, and this one's just been so much fun.
Good. That's key, mate. That's what I want to hear. That's the one word I want to hear at the end of every episode, of every recording. Just have fun. But everybody else, thank you for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, share, comment, do all the generic stuff that I always ask you to do. Keep your eyes peeled. I've got awesome stuff coming up over the next few weeks. Look at these posters whilst I am talking to you. And that is it really. So thank you for watching. Hit like, as I've just said. So I got distracted by the posters. I'm repeating myself. Deja vu. Right, that's it. We're done. I've said all this stuff. DJ King, thank you so much. We'll see you again.